Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mondoid, your one-stop shop for all things Project Zomboid. And this week, culinary delight and coffee. This week, we were not able to do a video interview style Mondoid. We will be doing one again, though, as the reception for it was relatively good. And we're really happy to see that. But this particular week, there was just too much going on for us to be able to do that. But we will be going back to that format in the future, and hopefully the near future. But this week, we are going back to our regular blog format, and there is a little bit to talk about. Not a whole lot, not a lot to digest, which is fine. But there is some interesting stuff that I want to talk about that they bring up in the blog, and in the form of the one little picture they kind of tantalize us with at the end. So let's dive in. First and foremost, to talking about Build 25. Build 25 is in testing right now, as you are well aware, with not only 3D models, but a whole host of fix and polishes, both single player and multiplayer. So essentially they're talking about why is Build 25 not quite out yet, and when is it coming out? For those who are worrying, they have set a hard date of before Res, so we're going to be seeing it shortly. They don't give a particular time because that's just not their way, but they want to make sure it's out before Res comes around, which is, I think, in a couple of weeks. So you're looking at a very short time period or time frame before Build 25 comes out. So why the wait? Why the delay? Why have we not seen Build 25 go live yet? It's a very, very simple answer to this. They don't want to fuck up multiplayer. If they release Build 25 and there's just different problems and all kinds of stuff and worlds break, there's going to be people running Build 23 so that world doesn't break, and other people running Build 25 so they have a new world to play on, all in multiplayer, so people are running different builds, and it's just like a big, gigantic mess. And if you're one of those people that likes to go from server to server and play on different games, you would constantly have to change what build you're running, and it's just a big pain in the ass. So they want to just make sure they have all the creases and problems ironed out before they release Build 25, so we don't see this divergent split between people who are running Build 23, Build 25, etc., for that multiplayer feature. It's essentially just a bug squashing marathon on their end right now, and that's totally fine. You want to make sure, especially when dealing with multiplayer, that when a build comes out, it is not going to break everything. So that's what they're making sure, and once that's good, once that's ready, which it sounds like they're very close to, it will be live. So thumbs up, happy about that. Then they're going to talk a little bit about Res. If you haven't already known, they're going to be at Res this year. They will not be having a booth. They're just going to be there and having some fun and talking. But there is going to be they're going to have a talking panel with themselves and Dean Rocket Hall, and Will Porter will be there as well, which is awesome. I don't know if you guys know this. I've known for a while. But Will Porter will be sitting in front of a worrying large audience to chat horror games alongside Dean and AI Hope, the creative director of Alien Isolation. So there's going to be some Alien Isolation people there. I'm so excited for Alien Isolation. I'm not going to get into it now, but it seems like it's the Alien game I've been waiting for, and unfortunately Space Marines was not that particular one. So there's going to be a big panel with the Indie Stone devs, Dean Rocket Hall, Will Porter, Al Hope, all these wonderful people, and that's awesome. I'm happy about that. Again, I'm upset that I can't go, but that's in England. There's really nothing I can do about it. I don't have the money or the capability to fly off to England for Res. But I will be at PAX East this year, so I hope I get to meet a lot of you at PAX East. And the big thing to talk about, the one thing that we actually ended up talking a little bit about last Mondoid in that chat session that we had, was cooking. And cooking is getting a major overhaul. We're talking like really huge overhaul that Romaine has been working on. I'm not going to go through all the main details. If you want to hear a lot about how the cooking's going to work, go to last week's Mondoid, listen to that video. But essentially, if you don't know how it's going to work, I will break it down very quickly for you. Cooking is now going to be kind of a multi-part process. So there is a recipe. I can make a sandwich with cheese. Bread, cheese. I have a cheese sandwich. It has a set number of hunger that it reduces my hunger by. I think it's like 15 or something. Now, maybe I want to add chicken to that. Okay, well now I can do chicken, cheese, and bread. Well, now it's a, now it's a sandwich that reduces it by like 30 or 35 because I added chicken to it. Well, I have some mayo. I might as well add some mayo to that. That's going to reduce it by another 5. And hey, hold on, I think I have some peppers from the garden. Let me add peppers to that. That's going to reduce it by another 5. And you see how this is all going to work? So you're going to be able to kind of create these own recipes, manually putting food together to make this sandwich or this soup or this salad or this stew that's going to reduce hunger by the amount of ingredients that you end up adding to that particular recipe. And it's really kind of cool. I like that. So if I have all these things, I don't have to eat these individual things. I can't just make a cheese sandwich or a boring salad. Now I can make a chicken mayo cheese sandwich or a salad with onions, peppers, and stuff from my garden, and it's going to reduce my hunger by a greater amount. So you might be going, what the hell is the cooking skill for then? How is that going to really factor into it? Well, what the cooking skill is going to do, the higher your cooking skill, the less food you end up using. So if you're a 0-level cook, you are going to make a chicken and cheese sandwich with whatever. You are going to use like half of your chicken just trying to make that sandwich because you're awful at cooking and you're not very good at it. But if you're a 4-star cook or a 4 skill point cook, you now use maybe 1/8 of the chicken. And both the sandwiches that are made by both different cooks reduce hunger by the same exact amount, but with a actual good chef in the party, especially if you play multiplayer, he's going to be able to use your food way less at a time, and he's going to be able to make maybe 10 sandwiches out of 1 piece of chicken, as opposed to the 2 sandwiches the other cook can make out of the same amount of chicken. So having somebody who's a good chef is going to become integral into those big party situations on multiplayer, and in single player, it's going to help you survive much, much, much longer in the long run. So that's really cool. I like that a lot. I think that's a really cool kind of foil to add to the cooking system, as the cooking system right now is obviously very basic. It's still useful, but it's still very much prototype and very basic, and nothing detailed has really come from it. But now we have this idea in this whole situation with the cooking being a lot more integral to, in my opinion, party play, and adds a lot of dynamic to somebody who may want to play the chef of the party. So that's really cool. I like that a lot. And last but not least is this screenshot that they don't even talk about. They just kind of leave this screenshot up. And I looked at it for a little bit, and I was curious what I was looking at for a bit. And then I think I've known what I'm talking about. Now, they leave some hints in the past couple of Mondoids of one of the biggest buildings you've ever seen is going to be, or the biggest building in the game so far is going to be at the next map expansion. And I'm looking at this and trying to figure out, what the hell is this? Well, we've got a lot of tables with, chairs and stuff. And immediately I was like, oh, okay, it looks like maybe a restaurant, maybe a new restaurant, a big restaurant in the new map. But then I was like, well, wait a minute, hang on. There's like a pillar in the middle, and there's trash cans around. That's not really restaurant-like. You don't really get that at restaurants. And then in the corner, the bottom left corner, you can see something that looks like a display case right at the bottom, and a counter, and a table with like some sort of chalkboard in the back. And then it came to me, because you could see at the top, it actually splits off, and there might be another one right above it. And then I was like, wait a minute, this looks like a food court. This could be a food court for a mall. And I'm not going to say I'm definitely right, but there's a very good chance that one of the biggest buildings in the next map expansion is going to be a mall. Watch the chat in the comments below. Be like, Mathis, we've all known this already. You're an idiot. But I just figured this out. I think it's a mall. And if it's a mall, that's going to be awesome. That is like such a classic place in a zombie apocalypse to survive, is the mall. And that could be really, really fun. And could be your death too, if you go in there and there's like a ton of zombies. But that's cool, man. I like that a lot. I hope it is a mall. I hope I'm right. I'm probably wrong, but I hope I'm right. But that's going to be it. That's it for the Mondoid. Nice short one. We got to talk about a little stuff. One last thing I want to mention before I wrap up this Mondoid is, if you guys don't know, and I'm going to be talking about this for a few episodes out from here on out, I do have t-shirts now available. So if you follow my Project Zomboid stuff, this is kind of a celebration of the end of Zomboid, and I have people ask me for t-shirts on Twitter a lot. So my first t-shirt is now available on Spreadshirt. There's a link in the description below. There will be for all my videos from now on. You can go check it out. The design was by Indie Mouse. It is a really cool design. I think it's a very wearable design, which is what I was focusing on. Go check out the design. Let me know what you think, and if you like it, pick it up. It's a good way to support me as a content creator, and hey, you got a sweet piece of clothing to go along with it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're one of those once a weekers, I'll see you next week. If you're a regular, I will see you later today, and as always, I will see all of you next time.